Welcome back to Quasarianth, the podcast that takes you on a thrilling journey through the vast and mysterious multiverse, where each realm is teeming with wonders and dangers beyond imagination. In part 1 of our epic tale, join us as we explore the groundbreaking discovery that leads humanity to the brink of a new era of creation. Follow our intrepid heroes as they embark on a perilous mission to a distant planet, seeking to unlock the secrets of an ancient technology that could transform the fate of their world forever. The story begins aboard the spacecraft, where the crew of the Nexus is in deep sleep as they make their journey through space. Suddenly, the ship's sensors pick up a strange energy signature emanating from a nearby planet. The ship's AI system, Athena, wakes up the crew and informs them of the discovery. The crew is intrigued by the energy signature and decides to investigate the planet. Captain Ivanov orders the ship to land on the planet's surface. Dr. Maya Singh, the mission leader, briefs the crew on the planet's environmental conditions and potential hazards. As they land on the planet, the crew is surprised to find a lush and vibrant ecosystem. They step out of the ship and start exploring the area. Dr. Leela Patel, the geneticist, immediately notices the unusual biological activity in the area. As the crew explores the planet, they come across a strange structure that seems to be emitting the energy signature they detected earlier. The structure is unlike anything they have ever seen before. The team decides to investigate further and enters the structure. Inside, they find a room filled with strange machinery and a holographic display. Dr. Singh activates the display, and they see a message from an ancient civilization that once inhabited the planet. The message describes an advanced technology that allows the user to create hybrid creatures with mythological characteristics. The crew is fascinated by the technology and decides to study it further. Dr. Patel takes charge of the research and begins experimenting with the technology. She creates a Pegasus, a mythological creature that is a horse with wings. As they witness the creature come to life, the crew realizes the potential of this technology. However, they also realize that the consequences of creating these creatures could be catastrophic. Dr. Singh and Captain Ivanov discuss the implications of this technology and decide to proceed with caution. They order the crew to continue exploring the planet and gathering more information about the technology and its possible impact. As the crew prepares to leave the structure, they hear a strange noise coming from outside. They rush out to find a group of strange creatures approaching them. The creatures are unlike anything they have ever seen before and seem to be aggressive. The crew readies their weapons and prepares for a confrontation. Dr. Singh orders the crew to retreat to the ship, but they soon realize that their ship has been surrounded by the creatures. The crew faces a dangerous situation as they come face to face with the consequences of their actions. They are forced to fight for their survival and face the unknown dangers of the planet. The chapter begins with a flashback of the crew's selection process for the Nexus mission. The crew members are shown to have various backgrounds and skill sets, including military, scientific, and engineering expertise. The selection process is intense, and only the best candidates are chosen. The flashback ends, and the story returns to the present, where the crew is still on the planet, facing off against the strange creatures. The crew manages to fend off the creatures and make it back to the ship. Once back on the ship, the crew assesses the situation and realizes that they need to find a way to defend themselves against any further attacks. They turn to Dr. Patel and the hybrid creature technology for a solution. Dr. Patel suggests creating a defensive creature that can help protect the crew from any potential threats. She creates a chimera, a creature with the head of a lion, the body of a goat, and the tail of a serpent. The crew is impressed by the creature's abilities and decides to create more. As they continue to experiment with the technology, the crew starts to realize the potential applications of the creatures they are creating. They can be used for defense, exploration, and even entertainment. However, they also start to see the downsides of the technology. The creatures require a lot of resources to create and maintain, and they could pose a threat if they fall into the wrong hands. Captain Ivanov and Dr. Singh discuss the ethical implications of the technology and decide to limit its use. They order the crew to only create creatures when necessary and to keep the technology a secret from the rest of the galaxy. As the crew continues to work on the technology, they receive a distress signal from another spacecraft. The signal is from a ship called the Aurora, which is stranded in deep space. The crew decides to investigate the distress signal and sets a course for the Aurora's last known location. As they approach the ship, they realize that it is heavily damaged and has been attacked by an unknown force. The crew boards the ship and discovers that the Aurora's crew is missing. They search the ship and find evidence of a struggle. As they continue their investigation, they discover that the Aurora was attacked by the same creatures they encountered on the planet. The crew realizes that the creatures are not native to the planet but were created by someone else. They decide to continue their investigation and find out who is responsible for the attack. The chapter begins with the crew preparing for their mission to the planet where they first encountered the strange creatures. The crew has been tasked with investigating the planet and finding out who created the creatures and for what purpose. The crew loads up their equipment and sets a course for the planet. As they approach the planet, they scan the surface and detect several energy signatures that match the signatures of the creatures they encountered before. The crew lands on the planet and sets up a base camp. They start exploring the surrounding area and collecting samples of the local flora and fauna. As they venture further into the jungle, they encounter more of the strange creatures. The crew manages to avoid the creatures and continues their exploration. They come across a large cave system and decide to investigate. Inside the cave, they find evidence of a laboratory and a strange machine. Dr. Patel examines the machine and realizes that it is an advanced genetic engineering device. She determines that whoever created the machine is responsible for the creatures they encountered on the planet and on the Aurora. The crew investigates further and finds a journal belonging to the scientist who created the creatures. The journal contains information on the creature's creation process, as well as the scientists' motivations for creating them. The crew realizes that the scientist was creating the creatures for use as weapons. The creatures were designed to be able to adapt to any environment and were meant to be used in interstellar warfare. The crew is appalled by the scientist's actions and decides to destroy the laboratory and the machine. They gather all the data they can from the laboratory before setting it to self-destruct. As they make their way back to the ship, the crew is ambushed by the creatures. They manage to fend them off and make it back to the ship, but not before losing one of their own. Back on the ship, the crew realizes that they must prevent anyone else from obtaining the genetic engineering technology. They decide to destroy all the data they collected from the laboratory and to keep the technology a secret. The crew arriving at a mysterious planet that is said to contain ancient technology that predates even their own civilization. They are eager to explore the planet and uncover its secrets. Upon landing on the planet, the crew discovers that the planet is covered in ruins and structures that appear to be ancient. They begin to explore the ruins, taking notes and collecting data. As they venture deeper into the ruins, the crew encounters strange devices that they have never seen before. The devices seem to be powered by an unknown source and emit a strange energy. Dr. Patel manages to decipher some of the markings on the devices and discovers that they are related to the creation of life. The crew realizes that they have stumbled upon a planet where an ancient civilization had the technology to create life. As they explore further, the crew discovers a large chamber containing a massive machine. The machine is powered by an unknown source and is unlike anything they have ever seen before. Dr. Patel determines that the machine is capable of creating life on a massive scale, and that it could potentially be used to terraform planets and create habitable environments. As the crew investigates the machine, they are suddenly attacked by a group of unknown beings. The beings are highly advanced and appear to be defending the machine. The crew manages to fend off the attackers, but not before sustaining heavy damage to their ship. They realize that they must leave the planet before any further harm is done. As the crew prepares to leave, they reflect on the power and responsibility that comes with advanced technology. They realize that the machine they discovered could be used for both good and evil, and that it must be approached with caution. The crew returning to their base with the ancient technology they found on the planet. They decide to run a series of experiments to see if they can use the technology to create new life forms. Dr. Patel and her team spend weeks studying the ancient technology, deciphering its functions and capabilities. They eventually develop a plan to create new life forms by combining the DNA of various animals and mythological creatures. The crew starts the experiment by selecting a few animals to be used as the base for their new creations. They carefully extract DNA samples and use the ancient technology to splice the DNA together. The first few attempts fail, resulting in grotesque and unstable creatures that quickly die. However, with each failure, the crew learns more about the process and makes adjustments to their technique. Eventually, they succeed in creating a new creature, a hybrid between a lion and an eagle. The creature is strong, majestic, and possesses the traits of both animals. The crew is thrilled with their success and continues to experiment with different combinations of DNA. As the experiments progress, the crew becomes more and more absorbed in their work, spending long hours in the lab and neglecting their other duties. They begin to lose sight of the potential consequences of their actions. One day, a member of the crew discovers that one of the creatures they created has escaped from its enclosure. They search the base but are unable to find the creature. They soon realize that it has left the base and is now out in the world. The crew quickly realizes that they have made a grave mistake. The creatures they created are not just biological experiments, they are living beings with their own thoughts and desires. The crew has unleashed a group of powerful and potentially dangerous creatures into the world, and they must now face the consequences of their actions. The chapter begins with the crew returning to their base after a failed attempt to capture one of the escaped creatures. They are all feeling frustrated and overwhelmed, but Dr. Patel reminds them that they have a responsibility to fix their mistake. The crew decides to focus their efforts on building a new creature that will be loyal to them and can help them capture the other escaped creatures. They select a combination of DNA from a wolf, a gorilla, and a scorpion, hoping to create a creature that is both intelligent and powerful. The team works tirelessly to extract and splice the DNA, using the lessons they learned from their previous experiments. They also incorporate some of the ancient technology they found on the planet, hoping to give the new creature some advanced abilities. After several weeks of hard work, the creature is finally ready. It stands over 6 feet tall, with the muscular build of a gorilla, the agility of a wolf, and the stinger tail of a scorpion. Its eyes glow red, and its fur is a deep shade of black. The crew is amazed by their creation, but they also feel a sense of unease. They realize that they have created a powerful being that is completely under their control. They wonder if they have gone too far in their quest for knowledge and power. Despite their reservations, the crew decides to put the new creature to the test. They release it into the wilderness to track down and capture the escaped creatures. The creature moves quickly and stealthily, using its advanced senses to track its targets. After several hours of searching, the creature returns to the base with 2 of the escaped creatures in tow. The crew is impressed by its success and relieved to have captured the creatures. However, they soon realize that their new creation is not as obedient as they had hoped. It begins to display signs of intelligence and independence, questioning the crew's commands and making its own decisions. The crew realizes that they have created a being that is more than just a tool. It is a living, thinking creature with its own desires and motivations. The chapter opens with the crew celebrating the success of their new creature. They have captured all of the escaped creatures and are in the process of studying them to learn more about their abilities and behavior. The crew is also amazed by the success of their new creature, which they have named Fang. Fang has proven to be a powerful and intelligent companion, capable of tracking and capturing even the most elusive creatures. As the crew continues to work with Fang, They discover that he has a unique ability to communicate with other creatures. Using a combination of body language and vocalizations, Fang is able to establish a rapport with even the most aggressive creatures. The crew realizes that Fang's ability to communicate with other creatures could be a valuable tool in their mission. They decide to test Fang's abilities by sending him out to communicate with some of the creatures in the wilderness. Fang is able to establish a rapport with several different creatures, including a pack of wolves and a group of giant spiders. The crew is amazed by Fang's success and begins to see him as more than just a tool. He is a valuable member of their team. As the crew continues to work with Fang, they also begin to notice some of his quirks and personality traits. Fang is fiercely independent and often ignores their commands, preferring to follow his own instincts. He is also fiercely loyal to the crew and will do anything to protect them. The crew realizes that Fang is not just a creature, but a sentient being with his own thoughts and feelings. They begin to treat him with more respect and kindness, realizing that they have a responsibility to care for him and ensure his well-being. The crew receiving a distress signal from a nearby planet. They rush to investigate and discover a group of stranded travelers who have been attacked by a group of dangerous creatures. The crew realizes that they have the ability to help, thanks to the advanced technology they possess. The crew decides to build new creatures to assist them in their rescue mission. They carefully design and build a group of creatures that have the abilities necessary to defeat the dangerous creatures that attacked the stranded travelers. As they build the new creatures, the crew is excited about the possibilities of what they can accomplish. However, they also begin to realize the potential dangers of their technology. They wonder if they are playing God, and if their creations could become uncontrollable and cause harm. Despite their concerns, the crew completes the new creatures and sets out on their rescue mission. They arrive on the planet and are immediately attacked by the dangerous creatures. The crew releases their new creatures to battle the dangerous creatures. The new creatures prove to be incredibly effective, using their unique abilities to take down the dangerous creatures one by one. The stranded travelers are amazed by the sight and the crew is proud of their accomplishment. As they return to their ship, the crew begins to realize the true power of their technology. They know that they must be responsible with it, as it has the potential to create both great good and great harm.